Last night, the hottest team in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings, who had won 6 straight games, traveled to New Orleans to face the Pelicans. The Pelicans easily took down the Kings, winning by 36 points, and with the Pelicans now having won 3 of their last 4 games, we're going to talk about why they have a shot to be a legit contender come April, and why other teams can't sleep on them. If you guys enjoyed the video though, then make sure to give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So as mentioned, the Pelicans handed the Kings a 36-point loss last night, doing so by a score of 129-93. Both teams will face off again in New Orleans on Wednesday night, so it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes, as the Kings were playing on the second half of a back-to-back last night, so I'm sure that did have a bit of an effect. However, I don't really think a 36-point loss is ever acceptable, regardless of the circumstances. I also think this Pelicans team is just a tougher team than most people are giving them credit for. Before we do get into some of the team's impressive numbers, I do want to mention Ingram was the star of the show last night, as he scored 31 points on 11 for 18 shooting and 5 of 5 shooting from three-point range. He also had a phenomenal plus 33 plus-minus rating. Zion Williamson scored 26 points on 12 of 16 shooting while grabbing 3 steals, and he already leads the Pelicans in terms of 25 points or more scored in games while he shot over 75% or above. It's also important to mention the other 3 guys in the starting lineup for the Pelicans last night put up very solid performances as well. In light of the team's very efficient night though, the Pelicans starting unit of Valanciunas, Ingram, Zion, Herb Jones, and Dyson Daniels had a plus 23 efficiency rating when on the court together last night, and in terms of a larger sample size, that Pelicans starting unit has an absurd 46.6 net rating in the 42 minutes they've spent on the court together. In addition to that, out of any Pelicans lineup that's played at least 10 minutes or more together per game this season, that lineup's the most efficient, coming in with a 12.3 plus-minus rating per game. Out of every single group of players that all 30 teams have put on the court this season, there's only one that's been more efficient than that Pelicans starting lineup from last night, while also playing more than 1 game and 10 minutes together per game. And that's the Clippers' old starting lineup with Robert Covington, which of course isn't even possible anymore, with Covington now being traded to the Sixers. The Pelicans obviously need to see this unit together for more than 42 minutes in 3 games, but that's still extremely impressive nonetheless. The Pelicans are undefeated with that lineup also, beating the Dallas Mavericks on November 14th, and while Jamal Murray didn't play, they also beat the defending champion Denver Nuggets on the 17th before of course winning together last night. The Pelicans have now won 3 of their last 4, like mentioned, and have gotten back to a 500 record as they're now 7-7. While that record might not be anything to go crazy over, the Pelicans have played the second hardest strength of schedule of any team in the league this season, so I think it is a bit impressive, especially with the fact that CJ McCollum has only played in 6 of the Pelicans' 14 games, and Trey Murphy has not played at all this season. Looking at the team's individual plus-minus totals for the season, there's 5 players who have started for the Pelicans: Hawkins, Robinson Earl, McCollum, Ingram, and Dyson Daniels, all who have negative ratings. However, in regards to Dyson Daniels, when he's been on the court with Herb Jones, who's had the 4th highest plus-minus rating, those lineups have outscored opponents by 16 points. Also, the only game that the Pelicans have lost with both Daniels and Jones in the starting lineup was this past Saturday night, as they were without Zion Williamson due to rest and only lost by 1 point to the West's first-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves. The Pelicans need to keep both of those guys in their starting lineup, dare I say, even when McCollum and Murphy return, as this has been the best Pelicans lineup in terms of scoring, efficiency, and of course defense, which I'd say are the 3 most important factors in the game of basketball. In regards to Daniels and Jones though, it seems Zion agrees, as after the game he was asked how the Pelicans limited De'Aaron Fox to 14 points on 5 of 18 shooting with no assists and 2 turnovers, and he answered 2 names, Herb and Dyson. I without a doubt agree with Zion on that, just off of what I showed today, as well as the fact that while the Pelicans lineup of CJ, Jones, Ingram, Zion, and Valanciunas had a plus 5.3 net rating last season, they also only played 113 total minutes together due to injuries. This season, in their 40 minutes played together, that same lineup has a negative 13.7 net rating, opposed to the plus 46.6 net rating that the lineup of Valanciunas, Ingram, Zion, Daniels, and Jones have together in 2 more minutes played and against some of the top teams in the Western Conference this season. So way more efficient and more minutes played together seems like it answers which lineup the Pelicans need to start going forward. So while of course injuries always come up with this Pelicans team, as neither Zion or Ingram managed to play over 50 games last season, the early signs we've seen from this new starting lineup have been extremely promising, and I genuinely think if they can stay healthy enough to put this lineup on the court together in the playoffs, they'll without a doubt have a shot to make it to the Western Conference Finals. There's a lot of time left until then, but when you have one of the most efficient lineups of the season and a defensive rating that's top 3 when they're on the court together, that's extremely hard for any team to stop. Anyway though, let me know in the comments what you think about the Pelicans, any players, or any topics I talked about today. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.